Welcome back to Worth Coin. If you love coins and history, you're in the right place. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of Washington quarter dollars, uncovering the top 4 most valuable coins, their history, errors, and how much they're worth today. Let's get started. First up, we're taking a close look at the 1986 P Washington quarter dollar. A common coin in circulation, but one that holds historical significance and potential collector interest when examined closely. The Washington quarter has been a staple of American coinage since 1932, originally introduced to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The obverse, designed by sculptor John Flanagan, features a left-facing portrait of Washington, while the reverse shows a heraldic eagle with outstretched wings perched on a bundle of arrows surrounded by 2 olive branches, symbolizing strength and peace. By 1986, the composition of the Washington quarter had shifted from its original 90% silver and 10% copper alloy to a copper-nickel-clad construction over a pure copper core. This change had been implemented in 1965 due to the rising cost of silver and the need for more durable, cost-effective coins in general circulation. The 1986 P Washington quarter was struck at the Philadelphia Mint and can be identified by the P Mint mark located just to the right of the ribbon at the base of Washington's ponytail. The total mintage for this coin was quite high. Over 551 million coins were produced that year, making it very common in circulation and relatively easy to find even today. Because of this high mintage, most 1986 P quarters are only worth their face value of 25 cents if they are in circulated condition. However, collectors might be interested in coins that are in uncirculated or mint state condition. In MS-63 to MS-65 condition, this coin is typically worth between $1 and $5. In higher grades like MS-67 or better, the value can increase significantly, sometimes reaching $50 to $100 or more, depending on eye appeal, strike quality, and overall condition. Only a small percentage of 1986 P quarters survive in top condition, which is what makes these higher-grade examples collectible. There are also a few varieties and errors associated with this coin that can command premiums. Some collectors have reported finding minor doubled dies or off-center strikes, although these are relatively rare and need to be authenticated and graded by a professional coin grading service to confirm value. A high-grade example with a unique error can sell for considerably more, sometimes several $100s, if the error is dramatic and the coin is well preserved. Another thing to keep in mind when evaluating a 1986 P quarter is the presence of full detail in Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers. Collectors often seek coins with sharp strikes and minimal wear or contact marks. Coins with brilliant luster, clean surfaces, and strong eye appeal tend to receive higher grades from grading companies like PCGS or NGC. Even though the 1986 P quarter isn't a rare coin by itself, it represents an important piece of American numismatic history. It's a great example of a modern-era coin that is still accessible to beginner collectors while offering opportunities for experienced numismatists to search for high-grade or error varieties. If you're coin roll hunting, it's always worth checking each quarter for unusual features, clean surfaces, or error signs. To summarize, the 1986 P Washington quarter is a copper-nickel-clad coin struck in Philadelphia with a high mintage, making it common in everyday change. Circulated coins are generally worth face value, but uncirculated or mint state examples can be worth more to collectors. Next up, today, we're taking a detailed look at the 1996 D Washington quarter dollar, an interesting modern coin that most people overlook, yet one that still holds some collectible potential under the right circumstances. The Washington quarter has been part of U.S. coinage since 1932, first issued to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The obverse design, created by sculptor John Flanagan, features a left-facing profile of George Washington with the word Liberty above, the national motto, "In God We Trust," to the left, and the date at the bottom. The reverse of the coin, used until 1998, shows a heraldic eagle with outstretched wings perched on a bundle of arrows, framed by two olive branches, symbolizing military readiness and peace. By 1996, the Washington quarter was no longer made from silver. Like all standard quarters minted after 1965, the 1996 D quarter was composed of a copper-nickel clad, meaning outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. This composition gives the coin its distinctive silvery appearance while keeping production costs low. The D mint mark indicates that this coin was struck at the Denver Mint. That year, the Denver Mint produced over 906 million Washington quarters, making the 1996 D a very common coin in terms of mintage. Because of this massive production, most 1996 D quarters you'll find in pocket change or circulation are only worth their face value, 25 cents. However, collectors may be interested in coins that are in exceptional condition. In uncirculated or mint state grades, the value increases slightly. A 1996-D quarter, graded MS-63, may be worth around $1 to $2. In MS-65, it could sell for $5 to $10. The real jump in value occurs with high-grade examples, coins graded MS-67 or higher, by professional grading companies like PCGS or NGC. In that condition, values can reach $30, $50, or sometimes even more, depending on the coin's luster, strike quality, and eye appeal. One important factor for collectors is whether the coin displays a full and sharp strike. Look at details like the hair on Washington's portrait and the feathers on the eagle's wings. Coins with crisp detail and few contact marks are more desirable and can earn premium prices. While the 1996 D is not known for many dramatic error varieties, there are occasional finds worth noting. Some collectors have reported minor doubled die errors, off-center strikes, die cracks, and coins with misaligned dies. These errors are rare and often need professional authentication to verify their value. But depending on the nature and severity of the error, they could be worth anywhere from a few dollars to over $100 in the right condition. Another rare collectible form of this coin is a high-grade 1996 D quarter in a PCGS or NGC holder with a grade of MS-67 or MS-68. These coins are tough to find because they require nearly perfect surfaces, strong strike quality, and pristine preservation. In 2018, for example, a 1996 D Washington quarter graded MS-68 by PCGS sold for over $200 at auction, proving that even modern coins can have real value when preserved carefully. If you're hunting through change or buying rolls to search for collectible coins, keep an eye out for 1996 D quarters with clean fields, no scratches or dings, and strong luster. Check the edges. Look for off-center designs or doubling on the letters and numbers, and compare strike quality to other coins of the same year. Most 1996 D quarters are not rare, but with patience, you might just find a high-grade example or even a rare error. In summary, the 1996 D Washington quarter is a modern coin with a high mintage and modest collector value in circulated condition. Next up, the Washington Quarter series began in 1932, originally intended as a one-year commemorative issue for George Washington's 200th birthday. but the design was so well received that it became a permanent fixture in U.S. coinage. Designed by sculptor John Flanagan, the obverse features a left-facing profile of George Washington, the word Liberty above, In God We Trust to the left, and the date below. The reverse shows a heraldic eagle with outstretched wings, perched on a bundle of arrows and surrounded by olive branches, symbols of military strength and peace. Now, what makes the 1965 Washington quarter so significant is its composition. Until 1964, all U.S. quarters were made of 90% silver and 10% copper. But in 1965, due to rising silver prices and coin hoarding, the U.S. Mint made a historic decision to eliminate silver from quarters and dimes. As a result, the 1965 quarter became the first year of the copper-nickel-clad quarter. This new composition featured a pure copper core bonded to outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving the coin a silvery appearance while drastically reducing production costs. This change allowed the mint to keep producing coins in large quantities without losing money. The 1965 Washington quarter was struck without a mint mark, regardless of whether it was made in Philadelphia or Denver. That's because the mint temporarily stopped using mint marks from 1965 to 1967 to discourage coin hoarding during the transition away from silver. So if you're looking at a 1965 quarter and wondering where the mint mark is, it's not missing. It was never there. The total mintage of the 1965 Washington quarter was enormous. Over 1.8 billion coins were struck that year, making it one of the most heavily produced quarters of all time. This means that most 1965 quarters are still extremely common today and are often found in circulation. In fine condition, which means moderate wear on the high points, but all major details still visible, a 1965 quarter is generally worth its face value, 25 cents. Because it has no silver content, it doesn't carry any bullion premium. That said, collectors and coin enthusiasts still search for special varieties and high-grade examples. In uncirculated condition, the coin can be worth anywhere from $1 to $5, depending on the quality. In high mint state grades like MS66 or MS67, values can jump significantly. Some of the finest known examples have sold for over $100. One of the most interesting aspects of the 1965 quarter is the existence of transitional errors. During the shift from silver to clad coinage, some 1965 dated quarters were accidentally struck on leftover 90% silver planchets meant for 1964 coins. These transitional error coins are extremely rare and valuable. A genuine 1965 silver quarter can be worth $5,000 to $10,000 or more, depending on condition. To identify a silver error, check the edge of the coin. Silver quarters have a solid silver-colored edge, while clad coins show a copper core in the middle. If your 1965 quarter has a silver edge and no visible copper, it may be a rare transitional error worth serious money. And it should be weighed. Silver planchets weigh about 6.25 grams, while clad quarters weigh around 5.67 grams. Aside from transitional errors, other rare 1965 errors include off-center strikes, double strikes, and struck-through errors. These aren't common, but they are sought after by collectors and can command premiums ranging from $20 to several $100s based on severity and grade. In summary, the 1965 Washington quarter marks a critical shift in American coinage, from silver to clad. And although most are common and worth face value in fine condition, they still hold historical interest. Next up, today, we're focusing on the 1991 D Washington quarter dollar, an everyday coin that most people overlook, but one that holds historical interest and collecting potential if you know what to look for. The Washington quarter has been a mainstay of American currency since 1932, first issued to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The original design, created by John Flanagan, features a left-facing bust of George Washington on the obverse with the word Liberty above his head, the motto, "In God We Trust," to the left, and the date at the bottom. The reverse design, used until 1998, shows a heraldic eagle perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches beneath, symbolizing military readiness and peace. By 1991, the Washington quarter was a modern-clad coin, composed of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a pure copper core. This copper-nickel-clad composition had been in place since 1965, when the U.S. Mint removed silver from circulating quarters to reduce costs and discourage hoarding. The 1991 D Washington quarter was struck at the Denver Mint, indicated by the D Mint mark located to the right of Washington's ponytail on the obverse. That year, the Denver Mint produced over 630 million quarters, which makes this coin quite common in circulation. Most 1991 D quarters that you'll find in your change today are heavily circulated and show signs of wear. In average circulated condition, this coin is worth its face value of 25 cents. However, the value can increase slightly if the coin is in uncirculated or mint state condition. A 1991 D Washington quarter in mint state, particularly in grades MS-63 to MS-65, is usually worth about $1 to $5. In higher grades like MS-67 or above, where the coin has strong luster, minimal contact marks, and a sharp strike, the value can rise to $25, $50, or more. High-grade examples are especially collectible when certified by professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC. In fact, a top-grade MS-67 Plus specimen has sold for over $300 at auction because of its scarcity and that level of preservation. One of the things collectors often look for in coins like the 1991 D is strike quality. Well-struck coins will show full detail in Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers. Coins with strong visual appeal and clean surfaces stand out and command higher prices, even for modern issues. While the 1991 D quarter isn't known for any major rare varieties, there are still some error coins that collectors watch for. These include off-center strikes, broad strikes, die cracks, and struck-through errors. These types of mistakes occur during the minting process and are usually unique, which adds to their value and appeal. Depending on the type and severity of the error, a 1991 D error quarter could sell for anywhere from $20 to a few $100s. Though less common, there are also occasional reports of doubled die varieties, which show slight duplication on the lettering or date. These need to be verified by experts to confirm authenticity and determine value. For collectors and roll hunters, the 1991 D quarter represents a solid example of a modern U.S. coin with good learning value. It's an accessible and affordable piece of the Washington Quarter series and can be a useful part of a date and mint mark collection. If you're collecting quarters by year, it's important to look for both the 1991 D and the 1991 P to complete the set. While not a rare coin, the 1991 D can still be worth more than face value in high grade, and it always helps to check your coins carefully, especially if you're sorting through old rolls, change jars, or bulk lots. To sum it up, the 1991 D Washington quarter was struck at the Denver Mint with over 630 million coins produced. It features the classic Washington design by John Flanagan and is composed of copper nickel-clad. In circulated condition, it's worth 25 cents, but uncirculated coins in MS-65 or better can fetch several dollars or more, especially if graded and preserved well. Keep an eye out for error varieties, strong strikes, and coins with excellent eye appeal, as these can significantly raise the value.